Tweed, are you helping? Are you helping? You're not much help for this stuff. Well, this is part 2 of make the Bearcat do things it was never designed to do. So we got an oil cooler mounted up in here. Tank location's going to work good. There's some holes there and there that we can run lines through, and then I'm going to mount a filter housing up in here too. Yeah, and then we've got, I'll get the light under here. So here's what we come up with. There's a pump mount there, big ugly bracket we bolted up there to the engine mount. Had to do a little reliefing there so that the engine mount was still happy. And then made a little bracket over here to mount the electronic flow control. That's infinite adjustment off the potentiometer in the cab. And then I got this here fella here, this guy here, pressure gauge, or pressure relief valve and pressure gauge. So I'm thinking, I'll just get around here so you can see, thinking that that is going to mount probably right there in the back of the pump, maybe up so you can read the gauge right from when you're going, see what the pressure is, get at it easy. And then yeah, the exhaust from that and this exhaust port here, it's just facing forward on that flow control, will go up into the tank. And I think I might just tee them into the return line, maybe, or maybe we'll just exhaust them there. There's the input for the pressure side off of the, will come off the back of the pump through that pressure regulator. And we're just gonna run some lines back that way. You can see that mess there is a combination of a little bit of breather tube and the water pump we gotta replace here. That's on the list. Gonna happen. Yeah, did that. That's all done. And then we cleaned up the lines in the back. Just go around here this way. Cleaned up the lines in the back here, and you can see that looks way better. That is all factory configuration right there, like it's supposed to be. Everything's cleaner, lots more room. Got rid, if you remember, that thing hanging there. So I still got to clean those lines up a bit. Then you come around back here. Oh, that makes me feel better. I'm still going to change this 1/2 inch female. That's going to get turned into a 1/2 inch male. So there's never any confusion. But yeah, that's lots cleaner and everything's nice and tight and not flopping around and way less mess. And then possibly the most exciting thing, you'll have to excuse the mess in the shop here. It's a bit of a dungeon because that's underway back there. That's the boiler room, because I got in-floor heat put in here when we moved here. We put her in, just got her hooked up though. And this is possibly the most exciting thing, and it's old, but I'm in love with it because it's air ride. So yeah, we dirty old air ride chair. It's gonna be nice. That's that controller I was telling you about there. You just swing the dial on off switch. It's easy. Turn the flow control on and swing the dial and then just make her good on the monitor. So yeah, this whole thing, it needs a cab kit, which I don't know, it's probably going to get it this year. We'll see. But she runs real good, runs real nice, and pulled 40-foot drill last year. It's just the hydraulics were a thing. Had to actually, well, this tractor's turned up a little bit actually. It's not a 225 horse anymore. It's actually dialed up. She's 250 and change, maybe more actually, the way it pulls, but it's got fluid in the tires and these suckers are heavy, so it pulls that 40-foot drill with that little cart like no big deal. Right, Tweed? You like seeding, eh? Pretty quick? Hey, Hound? Yeah. Anyway, that's as far as we got. This is like day 2 of this. Takes time to strip all those lines and figure out where they went. We actually had to get one line built, the one that went to that flow control. The one that went across, I don't know, maybe I can show you here. Let's just see. Shop's a little bit of a dungeon, but I got new LED lights to put in here. So that's gonna be neat. I don't know if you can see it back there. There we go. That one there, that brand new line, goes back and tees into the tank line there, because that's the exhaust for this factory flow control, that line. Well, he'd made a new line, the fella, and it was too long, so you couldn't even bolt this control up. And those 3/4 inch lines, well, if you've ever worked with them, you know they're not fun at all. And then, yeah, get rid of this old case drain line because it's irrelevant now, because new case drain is going to be right to that front tank, which we were able to reuse one whole line here because they had lines run up front already from the back. The return, the old return, he had the old 1/2 inch return. It was running this oil cooler anyway. So I looked at this oil cooler. I didn't think it was big enough, but the specs on it say it'll go to 30 gallon a minute, and we're not doing that. So we're not doing that much oil, so it should be okay. We'll see. If it ends up being a restriction, well, we'll upsize. Yeah, so then we're able to reuse that drain, and she's good. So yeah, that's about it. I got a dugout project going on with a wet well for winter watering for grazing cows in the winter. But that's for another day. I'll show you guys that at some point. And then we got to, yeah, this little sprayer over here, this little fella. That's new to me this year. So I kind of give her a going through. And she's going to be pretty sweet, all right. It's in really nice shape. But I'll do a little video. I got to install, I've got a good deal on a 500 Trimble. I'm gonna put it in there because right now it just has a light bar, and the mapping is sad. But yeah, this is for another day maybe. But this thing's clean. Oh, the dungeon's getting us. But anyway, the engine, it's cleaner than most people's kitchens. So I got lucky. She was a good one. It didn't cost me an arm and leg neither. Big step up. It'll be good. So yeah, that's it. This is the old seat out of that tractor, eh? Look at that sucker. Suspension's all bust out of her, and she's had better days, but it had this little slick factory swivel pedestal. I missed that. That seat doesn't swivel, but these old Steiger cabs, when you sit in there, there's not a lot of room to turn to the right, which is the way you always want to turn. Well, I do anyway, because my hydraulics are there and I want to look over my right shoulder and run my levers and see what's going on. And you couldn't really do that anyway, and the cab's plenty big to get out with the armrest swinging up, so whatever, it'll work, I guess. Pretty uptown for us. Yeah, so that's it. I guess I'll leave it there.